Hare Krishna, everyone. Welcome to Srila Prabhupada book reading session. This is the morning session where, we are going to read the Lord Chaitanya, his life and teaching. Only 2 days, within the 2 days, we will cover this entire book. And from Monday, we will start the Isha Upanishad. Okay, so let's start our session by the offering prayers. ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरं मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपं कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरु श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहित कृष्ण चैतन्य देवं श्री राधा कृष्ण पादान् सहगण ललिता श्री विशाखान्वितांच। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभो नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्ण प्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति वेदांत स्वामिन इति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात देशतारिणे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So yes, till now we covered the beautiful topics about the Lord Chaitanya's mother, father, the history. Then we move towards the his childhood pastime, then his student life, then how he take the sannyasa, then how he traveled to the Jagannath Puri, and now then we discussed most intimate part, a discussion between the Ramananda Rai and Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So now we are going to read about how Lord Chaitanya now he is returning back to the Puri. Okay. So please raise your hand and we should read little faster. So because from Monday we have to continue new book. Okay. Because there are only 10 to 15 pages that we have to cover. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The Lord returns to the Puri. Hare Krishna, Vinod Prabhu, can you read?
Yes, Mataji. Hare Krishna, the Lord's return to Puri. On his return to Puri, all the anxious devotees of the Lord got back their life, and the Lord remained there with continued pastimes of his transcendental realization. The most important incident during that time was his granting audience to King Pratap Rudra. King Pratap Rudra was a great devotee of the Lord, and he considered himself to be one of the servants of the Lord entrusted with sweeping the temple. This submissive attitude of the king was very much appreciated by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. The king requested both Bhattacharya and Raya to arrange his meeting with the Lord. When, however, the Lord was petitioned by his two stalwart devotees, he flatly refused to grant the request, even though it was put forward by personal associates like Ramananda Raya and Sarvabhumi Bhattacharya. The Lord maintained that it is dangerous for a sannyasi to be in an intimate touch with worldly, money-conscious men and with women. The Lord was an ideal sannyasi. No women could approach the Lord even to offer respects. Women's seats were accommodated far away from the Lord. As an ideal teacher and acharya, he was very strict in the routine work of a sannyasi. Apart from being a divine incarnation, the Lord was an ideal character as a human being. His behavior with other persons was also above suspicion. In his dealing As Acharya, he was harder than the thunderbolt and softer than the rose. One of his associates, Junior Haridasa, committed a great mistake by lustfully glancing at a young woman. The Lord, as a super soul, could detect this lust in the mind of a junior Haridasa, who was at once banished from the Lord's association and was never accepted again. Even though the Lord was implored to excuse Haridasa for the mistake, junior Haridasa afterwards committed suicide due to being dissociated from the company of the Lord, and the news of suicide was duly related to the Lord. Even at that time, the Lord was not forgetful of the offense, and he said that Haridasa had rightly met with the proper punishment. On the principles of the renounced order of life and discipline, the Lord knew no compromise, and therefore, even though he knew that the king was a great devotee, he refused to see the king only because the king was a dollar and cent man. By this example, the Lord wanted to emphasize the proper behavior for a transcendentalist. A transcendentalist has nothing to do with women and money. He must always refrain from such intimate relations. The king was, however, favored by the Lord by the expert arrangement of the devotees. This means that the beloved devotee of the Lord can favor a neophyte more liberally than the Lord. Pure devotees, therefore, never commit an offense at the feet of another pure devotee. An offense at the lotus feet of the Lord is sometimes excused by the merciful Lord, but an offense at the feet of the devotee is very dangerous for one who actually wants to make progress in devotional service. As long as the Lord remained at Puri, thousands of his devotees used to come to see him during the Rath Yatra car festival of Lord Jagannatha. And during the car festival, the washing of the Gundika temple under the direct supervision of the Lord was an important function. Hare Krishna. The Lord's congregational Sankirtana movement at Puri was a unique exhibition for the mass of people. That is the way to turn the mass mind towards spiritual realization. The Lord inaugurated this system of mass Sankirtana, and leaders of all countries can take advantage of this spiritual movement in order to keep the mass of people in a pure state of peace and friendship with one another. This is how the demand of the present human society all over the world. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you, Prabhuji. So now we can see he discuss with Ramananda Rai how to advance in the spiritual life, and like the discussions are so good. Like we also see na, how he asked the questions, and then then Ramananda Rai replied. So now and before coming Ramananda I said na please stay for here for more days stay for the 10 days by Lord listen to Ramananda Rai, and they discuss 10 days about the spirituality and the intimate pastimes between the Radha and Krishna. Then Lord says okay, I have stayed for the 10 days. Now you come to the Jagannath Puri, retire from your service, and then till I exist in this material world, till then we will discuss about the Radha and Krishna and their intimate pastimes. So by listening to him, yes, he heard the order from the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and he followed the order because he know that he is himself a Krishna. And he come to the Jagannath Puri by taking the retirement. So now, Lord returns to Jagannath Puri, and yes, the great audience was the King Pratap Rudra. He was a very pure devotee of Jagannatha, and what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu likes, the submissive attitude. Like Trunadapi Sunichena Tarurupi Saishrina Amananiya Manadena Kirtaniya Sadhari. So this is the one of his 8 instruction. So he always like a submissive attitude, because if we unnecessary fight or open our mouth na, our chanting will be disturbed. We are not able to chant the holy names, because our mind will be disturbed, because we are constantly thinking of that incidents rather than we have to think about the Krishna. So yes, yes, Lord Chaitanya used to like the submissive attitude of a King Prataprudra, because he was the even he was the king. Then also he used to sweep the temple. And then Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya and Ramanand Rai arranged a meeting with the Lord. Yes, now we can see now, yes, Bhattacharya, he was the Vedantist, and he used to speak the Vedas, but with interpretation by giving wrong, by misleading examples. But when he come in a touch with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, then he become the his associate. And also the Ramananda Rai, yes, they are the pure devotees and eternal associates. And then also by hearing the orders, he also joined the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in Jagannath Puri. Then they arranged the meeting between the King Prataprudra and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, but Chaitanya Mahaprabhu rejected. So here from this, what can we hear? What can we take out one point, that we directly cannot contact Krishna, but through his devotees we can contact with the Krishna. So we cannot directly meet Krishna, we cannot directly serve Krishna, but through our spiritual master, through the Prabhupada, we can serve the Radha and Krishna. And we can follow the orders, because Krishna is little strict, he reciprocates, but his devotees are so compassionate. And this is the mood, compassion was the mood by which Srila Prabhupada pre-reached all the Western countries and even all the world. Okay, so why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was rejecting? Because it is very dangerous for the sannyasi to intimately touch with a worldly man, who is who is only concerned about the women and the money. So Lord Chaitanya was ideal sannyasi, and yes, as an acharya, his dealings are harder than a thunderbolt and softer than a rose. So he's very merciful at the same time he's very strict, when it comes to following rules and regulations. So we have to be very careful about breaking the four regulative principles, because Lord Chaitanya in past chapters, what he said, he even accepted the Jagai Madai, but on one condition. You know what is the one condition? Anyone? What was the one condition? Hare Krishna. Anyone remember what was the one condition by which Lord Chaitanya even accepted Jagai Madai?
You follow the instruction.
No.
They chant the holy names.
No. You have to revise, na?
Respect the
Otherwise,
Vaishnava.
no. We have to remember as it is. We don't have to manipulate. So the instruction was that, even I will, if you want, I will share the screenshot of that from the page. That is that, okay, whatever sinful actions you have committed, but you have to, I will accept you only on one condition, that you are not going to repeat the same mistakes, and you are not again going to again commit the same mistakes or same sinful actions. So yes, whatever sinful actions we are we had did in our past few years, because we are in ignorance, eating non-vegetarian things, eating onion, garlic, and whatever things, but like uh, even other things. But now yes, we accepted na Chaitanya, we accepted the teachings of a Prabhupada, Lord Chaitanya. Now we don't have to commit the same mistakes, now we don't have to break the four regulative principles. This is the thing. Yes, okay, whatever sinful activities you done, I will forgive them, but from now you don't have to break the four regulative principles, and you don't have to commit the same mistakes again. This is the thing. On this condition, Lord Chaitanya accept. And yes, one of his eternal associate, Chota Haridas, Junior Haridas, he committed the great mistakes. Even he was the sannyasi. He committed a great mistake, that he lustfully glanced at the women. And how Lord Chaitanya comes to know this? Because he is seated in a form of a Paramatma in his heart. And so whatever things going in our mind, so as a super soul, he detects that. So it is very important now, to get in the association, chant the holy name, read the Prabhupada's book, hear the Harikatha, then only our thoughts and our mind, even our heart, is going to purified. Otherwise, there will be dirty things coming inside and going outside. So, there is a Gigo principle: good in, good out. garbage in, garbage out. So like whatever material things now, like watching reels and whatever movies, film songs, and like whatever gossips we do, and like political affairs, film affairs, like when we put them inside our mind, inside our heart, like they are like a garbage. And like when there is a garbage, like there Krishna don't live, na? Like crows live in a garbage, but pure devotees are like a swan. They prefer to stay in like some serene lake full of nature's beauty. So like yes, pure devotees are like a swan. So they don't put the garbage inside their mind and their heart. So we have to be careful like what we are consuming, because good in, good out. That is the Gigo principle, na. And like Krishna is a present in our heart, na, as a super soul. And what is the work of super soul? That he is a Upadrishta and Anumanta. He observed everything, even our thoughts coming in our mind, whatever what desires we are desiring, and like he give the permission also, because Krishna has given us little independence. And like what is our problem? We are misusing that independence. With that independence, we have to serve Krishna. But with that independence, we are serving our senses. This is our mistake, okay? And yes, like he reject the Chota Haridasa Thakur, and he never accepted. Then he committed the suicide. And like when even the devotee informed the Lord Chaitanya, then he said like yes, he made the right punishment. So he was very strict when it comes to follow the rules and regulation. So yes, we also have to follow the rules and regulation very strictly, because like when we follow the rules and regulations strictly, then only we can advance faster. Otherwise it will take the lie, or like it will take the more and more lives. And like why to suffer for the more lives now? So yes, like when it comes to follow the regulative principle, there is no compromise. So like yes, the transcendentalist has to do nothing with the women and money, and so he always refused to meet some persons who are like associate with these things. And yes, like what is the hati mata? That like creating offense at a mad like a offense like a mad elephant. So when mad elephant go in a beautiful garden, like he's going to destroy everything. So yes, okay, like if you committed offense at the feet of Krishna, Krishna will forgive you. But when you do the offense at the lotus feet of a pure devotee, then Krishna is not going to forget. Like we can also see the in a like through the examples of Hiranyakashipu and Prahlad Maharaja. Okay, like Vishnu was doing nothing when Hiranyakashipu was offending Lord Vishnu. But when he offended Prahlad Maharaj, then like we know all know the like what like Narsimha do to the Hiranyakashipu. So yes, we have to be very careful about this, like by offending his pure devotees. We never offend any devotees. Okay. And yes, like Lord Chaitanya do a lot of things now in Jagannath Puri, like a Ratha Yatra, and like also they used to do like a Gundicha Marjan, like they are cleaning and washing the Gundicha temple. And like yes, he also inaugurated the Mass Sankirtana. And like yes, Mass Sankirtana is important. So everyone want the peace, and like everyone want the friendship with each other. And it can be only possible when we are on a spiritual platform. On bodily platform, it is not possible. Okay. So Hare Krishna, Muttamanikam Prabhu can read the Lord's visit to Vrindavan.
Hare Krishna, Mother. The Lord's visit to Vrindavan. After some time, the Lord again started on his tour towards northern India, and he decided to visit Vrindavana and its neighboring places. He passed through the jungles of Jariganda, that is Madhya Bharata, and all the wild animals also joined his Sankirtana movement. The wild tigers, elephants, bears, and deers all together accompanied the Lord, and the Lord accompanied them in Sankirtana. By this, he proved that by the propagation of the Sankirtana movement, that is congregational chanting and glorifying the name of the Lord, even the wild animals can live in peace and friendship. And what to speak of men who are supposed to be civilized? No man in the world will refuse to join the Sankirtana movement, nor is the Lord Sankirtana movement restricted in any caste, creed, color, or species. Here is direct evidence of his great mission. He allowed even the wild animals to partake in his great movement. On his way back from Vrindavana, he first came to Prayaga, where he met Rupa Goswami along with his younger brother Anubama. Then he came down to Benares. For 2 months, he instructed Sri Sanatana Goswami in the transcendental science. The instruction to Sanatana Goswami is in itself a long narration, and full presentation of the instruction will not be possible here. The main ideas are given as follows. The Lord visit to
Hare
Benares.
Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you,
Hmm.
Prabhuji.
Hare
Yes.
Krishna Mataji.
So yes, then after his South India tour, like now he is he want to do the North India tour. So yes, when he is going to North India, he must go to the Vrindavana, na, because it is his home. And then during he go through the Jharkhanda forest in the Madhya Pradesh, and if he was doing the Sankirtana, even the forest animals like a deer, tiger, like a rabbit, and every animals, even the elephant, deer, all take part in a Sankirtana movement. And from this, like not only human beings, but by the Sankirtana movement, even the animals can stay in the peace and friendship. So even there is one, I think there is one pahadi on there, the lotus feet of Lord Chaitanya, even the lotus feet of animals are there. Like we can take the darshan when we go there. So after he go to the his way back to the Vrindavana, he meet the Rupa Goswami and his younger brother Anupama. Uh, and yes, and then for the 2 months, he instructed the Sanatan Goswami in a transcendental science. Hare Krishna, Shobha Parik Mataji can read. Hare Krishna, Shobha Mataji.
I'm going to read. Where student, the Lord visits to Benares. Sanatan Goswami, formerly known as Shakhar. Can you scroll, please? Where do I read it from? Sakar Malik was in the cabinet service of Bengal government under the regime of Nawab Hussain Shah. He decided to join with the Lord and thus retired from the service. On his way back from Vrindavan, when he reached Varanasi, the Lord became the guest of Sri Tapan Mishra and Chandrasekhar, assisted by a Maharashtra Brahman. At that time, Varanasi was headed by a great sannyasi of the Mayavad school, named Shripad Prakashananda Saraswati. When the Lord was at Varanasi, the people in general became more attracted to Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu on account of his mass Sankirtan movement. Wherever he visited, especially the Vishwanath temple, thousands of pilgrims would follow him. Some were attracted by his bodily um, features, and others were attracted by his melodious songs glorifying the Lord. The Mayavadi sannyasis designate themselves as Narayan. Varanasi is still overflooded with many Mayavadi sannyasis. Some people who saw the Lord in his Sankirtan party considered him to be actually Narayan, and this report reached the camp of the great sannyasi Prakashananda. In India, there is always a kind of spiritual rivalry between the Mayavad and Bhagavad schools. And thus, when the news of the Lord preached Prakashananda, he knew that the Lord was a Vaishnava sannyasi, and therefore he minimized the value of the Lord before those who brought him the news. He deprecated the activities of the Lord because of his preaching the Sankirtan movement, which was, in his opinion, nothing but religious sentiment. Prakashananda was a profound student of Vedanta, and he advised his followers to give attention to the Vedanta and not to indulge in Sankirtan. One devotee Brahman, who became a devotee of the Lord, did not like the criticism of Prakashananda, and he went to the Lord to express his regrets. He told the Lord that when he uttered the Lord's name before the sannyasi Prakashananda, the latter strongly criticized the Lord, although the Brahman heard Prakashananda uttering several times the name Chaitanya. The Brahmin was astonished to see that the sannyasi Prakashananda could not vibrate the sound Krishna even once, although he uttered the name Chaitanya several times. The Lord smilingly explained to the devotee, um, Brahman, why the Mayavadi cannot utter the holy name of Krishna. The Mayavadis are offenders at the lotus feet of Krishna. Although they utter always Brahma, Atma or Chaitanya, etc., and because they are offenders at the lotus feet of Krishna, they are actually unable to utter the holy name of Krishna. The name Krishna and the personality of Godhead Krishna are identical. There is no difference in the absolute realm between the name, form, or persons of the absolute truth, because in the absolute realm, everything is transcendental bliss. There is no difference between the body and the soul for the personality of Godhead Krishna. Thus, he is different from the living entity, who is always different from its outward body. Because of Krishna's transcendental position, it is very difficult for a layman to actually know the personality of Godhead, Krishna, his holy name and fame, etc. His name, fame, form, and pastimes all are one and the same transcendental identity, and they are not knowable by the exercise of the material senses. The transcendental relationship of the pastimes of the Lord is the source of still more bliss than one can experience by realization of Brahman or by becoming one with the Supreme. Had it not been so, then those who are already situated in the transcendental bliss of Brahman would not have been attracted by the transcendental bliss of the pastimes of the Lord. Should I continue?
Yes, Mataji.
Meeting with Prakashananda Saraswati. After this, a great meeting was arranged by the devotees of the Lord, in which all the sannyasis were invited, including the Lord and Prakashananda Saraswati. In this meeting, both the scholars, the Lord and the Prakashananda, had a long discourse on the spiritual values of the Sankirtan moment, and a summary is given below. The great Mayavadi sannyasi Prakashananda inquired from the Lord as to the reason for his preferring the Sankirtan moment to the study of Vedanta Sutra. Prakashananda said that it is the duty of a sannyasi to read the Vedanta Sutra. What caused the Lord to indulge in Sankirtan? After this inquiry, the Lord submissively replied, I have taken to the Sankirtan movement instead of the study of the Vedanta because I am the great fool. The Lord thus represented himself as one of the numberless fools of this age who are absolutely incapable of studying the Vedanta philosophy. The fool's indulgence in the study of Vedanta has caused so much havoc in the society. The Lord thus continued, and because I am a great fool, my spiritual master forbade me to play with Vedanta philosophy. He said that it is better that I chant the holy name of the Lord, for that would deliver me from material bondage. That, should I continue? Okay.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Mataji. So yes, now we can see, yes, then like a Lord's visit to Banaras. There is, he met the Sanatan Goswami, who was formerly named as a Sakara Malika, who was the cabinet of a Navan Hussain Sahab. And like yes, like on the way back to the Vrindavan, like he also reached the Varanasi, and at the time Varanasi was a full of a Mayavadi sannyasis, and the great sannyasi of a Mayavada school was a Sripada Prakashananda Saraswati. And like, yes, they don't, what is the Mayavada? They think that they are the God, and they can merge with the God. Everything is a Brahman, and like they can merge with a Brahman. So they also become the God. So when they themselves think they are the God, but then they don't respect the Krishna, or they don't respect the Vishnu, because they himself think, okay, I am the Narayana. So they don't like the people who are glorifying the Narayana. Even like when they are glorifying, they used to think himself, okay, I am the Narayana and they are glorifying me. So like they don't used to like this Sankirtana movement. They used to think like this is something spiritual, a spiritual sentiment, but this is not a spiritual sentiment. And this is the Yoga Dharmana, like we have to chant the holy names and do the Sankirtana. So yes, the Sankirtana means we have to glorify the Krishna's beautiful transcendental names. So one sannyasi one Brahmana used to go and tell the about this Sankirtana movement to the Prakashananda, and he blasphemed the holy name and even the a Sankirtana movement, and he don't show any respect, and and the Brahmana don't like this, he was blaspheming in this way, and and he's as he instructed that as a sannyasi we have to give attention to the Vedantas, but not to indulge in the Sankirtana movement. So he's criticized a lot of things about the Sankirtana movement, about the Lord Chaitanya. So this Brahmana, the faithful Brahmana, come to the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and he told everything. And he also said that he was criticizing, but he was able to he was taking the names like Brahma, Chaitanya, like other names, but he was not able to take the name of Krishna. Because why he was not able to take the name of Krishna? Because Krishna and his name, they are absolute and they are not different from each other. Even by taking the holy names, Krishna is present with us in a form of a sound vibration. So there is no difference. So and they are not paying showing the interest or respect to the holy name. So they are the offenders. And they think themselves as the Narayana. So they are the offenders to the lotus feet of Krishna and the holy to the holy name. Harinam is also is an incarnation, na? Like we call him a Harinam Prabhu. When Harinam Prabhu is a pleased, then we develop the taste in a chanting. So yes, they are not able to take name of Krishna because they are the Mayavadis and they are the offenders to the lotus feet of Lord Krishna. So only the devotees can take the name Krishna. Okay, Mayavadis who are the offenders, they find it very hard to chant the holy name. Even we can see now in a kirtana, so in a chant when we are chanting, people they unable to take the holy name from their mouth because they don't have that much pious activities. They didn't have done that. Even to take the spiritual activity, even to come come to the platform where we can hear the Bhagavad Gita, where we can chant the holy name, it requires the pious activities. And by the mercy of a pure devotee, we are also not pious, especially me, but by mercy of a Prabhupada, we have get this holy name. And we are able to chant the holy name, we are able to read his books, and even we are able to read the Bhagavad Gita. But realizations only come by the mercy of a Prabhupada. Okay, and how we can attract the mercy of Prabhupada? By following his instruction, by reading his book, by distributing his book, and by following 4 regulative principles and chanting 16 rounds, and especially here in the Harikatha. So yes, it's there is nothing happiness in a impersonal Brahman, because there you are simply going to stay there for a time innumerable without any exchange, without any relationship with anyone, and then you will fall down to this material world. But a transcendental relationship with the Krishna, as his Sakha, as his in a Madhurya Rasa, a gopis and a Radha Rani, and even the Vasalya Rasa, a Yashoda Maya, and even if we become the cows, they all are relishing the transcendental relationship with the Krishna, and they are more blissful than just to stay as a spiritual spark in a Brahmana. And you can a Krishna is only God is only one. No one can be equal, and no one can be great than Krishna. So this is the nonsense idea to be become a god, or to merge with a god. Okay, they are going to only merge with the effulgence of a Krishna's body, and they are not going to merge with the Krishna. Okay, and even they have the idea na, they are going to merge with the Brahmana. They stay as a individual. They don't lose their identity. They stay there as the spiritual spark. So they meet the Prakashananda Saraswati. Then he said why as a sannyasi it's our duty to read the Vedanta Sutra, and why you are indulge yourself in the Sankirtana movement. Then Lord Chaitanya humbly and submissively said that I have taken the Sankirtana movement instead of studying the Vedanta, because I am the great fool. And he was not, he was Lord Krishna himself, but he is representing other people, because they are not taking the Vedanta sutras as it is. They are mentally speculating, and they are using it for own what we say sense gratification, by thinking yourself as a Krishna, yourself as a Narayana. You are doing the sense gratification, you are doing the subtle sense gratification, and by taking misinterpretation from the Vedanta sutras, you are causing the great havoc in the society. So so with this foolish attitude, by reading the Vedanta Sutra, rather than like it is very best to chant the holy name and do the Sankirtana movement which can deliver me. So Hare Krishna, should we take for next 10 minutes or like should we take tomorrow? I think 10 minutes we can take, no? From 7:15 there will be Guru Puja, no?
Okay, Mataji.
Yeah. So Hare Krishna, Sharmila Mataji, we
Hare
can
Krishna Mataji. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Chanting the holy name of the Lord is the only way. In this age of Kali, there is no other religion but the glorification of the Lord by utterance of His holy name. And that is the injunction of all the revealed scriptures. And my spiritual master has taught me one shloka from the Brihan Naradiya Purana. Harer Nama, Harer Nama, Harer Namaiva Kevalam, Kalau Nastyeva, 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 Gatir Anyata. So, on the order of my spiritual master, chant the holy name of Hari, and I am now mad after his holy name. Whenever I utter the holy name, I forget myself completely, and sometimes I laugh, cry, and dance like a madman. I thought that I had actually gone mad by this process of chanting, and therefore I asked my spiritual master about it. He informed me that this was the real effect of chanting the holy name, which produces a transcendental emotion that is a rare manifestation. It is a sign of love of God, which is the ultimate end of life. Love of God is transcendental to liberation, mukti, and thus it is called the fifth stage of spiritual realization, above the stage of liberation. By chanting the holy name of Krishna, one attains a stage of love of God, and it was good that fortunately I was favored with the blessing. On hearing this statement from the Lord, the Mayavadi sannyasi asked the Lord what was the harm in studying the Vedanta along with chanting the holy name. Prakashananda Saraswati knew well that the Lord was formerly known as Nimai Pandita, a very learned scholar of Navadvipa, and his posing as a great fool was certainly to some purpose. Hearing this inquiry by the sannyasi, the Lord smiled and said, "My dear sir, if you do not mind, I will answer your inquiry." All the sannyasis there were very much pleased with the Lord for his honest dealings, and they unanimously replied that they would not be offended by whatever He replied. The Lord then spoke as follows. Vedanta Sutra consists of the transcendental words or sounds uttered by the transcendental personality of Godhead. As such, in the Vedanta, there cannot be any human deficiencies like mistake, illusion, cheating, or inefficiency. The message of the Upanishads is expressed in the Vedanta Sutra, and what is said there directly is certainly glorified. Whatever interpretations have been given by Shankaracharya have no direct bearing on the Sutra, and therefore such commentation spoils everything. The word Brahman indicates the greatest of all, which is full with transcendental opulences, superior to all. Brahman is ultimately the personality of Godhead, and he is covered by indirect interpretations and established as impersonal. Everything that is in the spiritual world is full of transcendental bliss, including the form, body, place, and paraphernalia of the Lord. All are eternally cognizant and blissful. It is not the fault of the Acharya Shankara that he has so interpreted Vedanta, but if someone accepts it, then certainly he is doomed. Anyone who accepts the transcendental body of the personality of Godhead as something mundane certainly commits the greatest blasphemy. The Lord thus spoke to the sannyasi almost in the same way that he spoke to the Bhattacharya of Puri, and by forceful arguments, he nullified the Mayavada interpretations of the Vedanta Sutra. All the sannyasis there claimed that the Lord was the personified Vedas and the personality of Godhead. All the sannyasis were converted to the cult of Bhakti. All of them accepted the holy name of Lord Sri Krishna, and they dined together with the Lord in the midst of them. After this conversation of the sannyasis, the popularity of Lord increased. After this conversion of the sannyasis, the popularity of the Lord increased at the Varanasi, and thousands of people assembled to see the Lord in person. The Lord thus established the primary importance of Srimad Bhagavad Dharma, and he defeated all other systems of spiritual realization. After that, everyone at Varanasi was overwhelmed with the transcendental Sankirtana movement.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Yes.
Thank you, Mataji.
Yes, like here we can see, na? Like yes, then this shloka also we can quote na, for the glorification of holy name from the Brahma Narayana Purana na Harir Nama Kevalam Karir Nastiva Gatir Anyatha. So yes, he said, for the Kali Yuga, the holy name is the only way. By only chanting the holy name, we can go back to the Godhead and we can spiritually advance. So he said, I'm full, so I'm full, so I don't I don't have that capacity to read the Vedanta Sutras. But the Prakashananda Saraswati used to know that he is the great he is the great scholar of this Vedanta Sutras, because he was staying in Navadipa. He was known as the Nimai Pandita. He was well versed in the Vedanta Sutras. But then he know he's calling himself as a fool, something something there is some intentions behind that, and there is something behind that. So, and yes, then also he said that there is no difference between the Krishna's name, fame, paraphernalia, and the pastimes. They are the absolute. And he also said that now, when I chant the holy name on the orders of a spiritual master, now he become the mad after the holy name. So we are chanting from the lung, we haven't become a mad, and we are not showing these symptoms now. Even there are few devotees who show these symptoms, but they don't publicize now, they don't show these symptoms to the public. They are very they are secret between them and Krishna. So he cry, laugh, and dance in the ecstasy like a madman. And these are the effects of a chanting, real effect of a chanting holy name. And they produce the transcendental emotions and the real manifestations. And yes, at the ultimate goal of life is to develop the love for Lord Krishna and love of to get the love of a God. And this is the fifth stage of a spiritual realization. Even it is a transcendental to the mukti or a liberation, because in a mukti there is no service to Lord Krishna. But when we go in a planets like a Goloka, Vrindavana, there we can serve the Krishna, and that is our goal, na? So yes, then Prakashananda also asked, then okay, you are chanting the holy name, then what is the harm to study the Vedanta Sutra and also chanting the holy name? So Nimai Pandit, now who is the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he laughed and he said, he humbly said, and he said, if you don't mind, then I can answer your inquiry. So yes, the sannyasis also active, they are not going to offend with the Lord's answer. So he spoke the follows, Vedanta Sutras are considered consist of the transcendental words and the sounds uttered by the transcendental personality of a Godhead. Then Vedantas cannot so yes, they are all are transcendental. So there are no some human errors deficiencies, mistakes, illusion, cheating, or inefficiency. And they express the message of a Upanishad through the Vedanta Sutra. And so they should be directly glorified, and we shouldn't give some interpretations to them now. Even if there is one offense to the holy name, to give some interpretation to the holy name of Lord. So we shouldn't give the interpretation, we have to accept them as it is. So lords the Shankaracharya, who appear as a Mayavada, as a Mayavada teacher, have no direct bearing on the sutras, and and their commentations spoil everything. So they are not giving the direct meaning, and they are giving Shankaracharya gives some indirect interpretation, and those who are accepting them and accepting everything as a impersonal and accepting the interpretations of a Shankaracharya, they are spoiling their spiritual life, because everything in the spiritual world is full of a transcendental bliss, and including the form, body, place, paraphernalia of a Lord, and all are internally cognizant and the blissful. So yes, he speak this interpretation. One who accept the interpretations, he is a true. And and the one who consider the body of a Krishna and a body of his associate as the mundane body, they commit the great blasphemy to the God, because he is the supreme person and we are not accepting him as a body, but we are accepting him as an impersonal. We are too they are too much emphasizing on the impersonal feature, but the greatest feature is the like a personal form, Bhagwan form. So Lord give the argument in the same way that he give the argument to the Bhattacharya in a Puri, and then he nullify all the interpretations of the Vedanta Sutra. And like sannyasis claim that he is the person personified the Vedas and the personality of a Godhead. They accepted the Lord Chaitanya as the supreme. And like in this way, Lord Chaitanya spread the importance of the primary importance of the Bhagavad Dharma, and he defeated all other systems of the spiritual realizations. Hare Krishna. So today we will end here. From tomorrow we will start with the teachings of us, teachings to the Sanatana Goswami. वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः. अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय. Shri Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna. So yes, like here we can see now, like Lord Chaitanya defeated all
Hare
other
Krishna,
spiritual
Mataji,
like
Sadhguru.
methods of spiritual realization. So like there should be no question, oh, why only Krishna consciousness? Why only why only we should follow this path? So like because like Lord Chaitanya already defeated them, and like Krishna himself coming and saying this is the only way to get out of this material world, then why we should like doubt? And yes, like everything is every knowledge is in front of us, like okay, this is the thing you have to do, and like after doing this you will go back to the Godhead. Everything is given. You simply have to chant the holy name, and you have to follow the four regulative principles. But our problem is that we are not following, we are still doubtful, okay, if I do this, like it will work or not. So we don't have to think about the results, but what is in our hand, that efforts, like at least we have to put our efforts. And like everything starts by the giving some time to the Krishna. So how much time we should give? The morning should be for Krishna, at least 3-4 hours, we should give to the Krishna by chanting his name, doing his aarti. If you are not able to do a temple Mangal Aarti online, you can if it's in the 15 minutes or 30 minutes, you can offer the aartis to your altar. Yeah, it will hardly take the 15 minutes. Even like a dhupa diya and the flowers, you can offer the aartis. So like it is about like our we shouldn't give the excuses, I don't have time, I don't have this and that. Rather than giving the excuses, we have to find the ways by which we can take out the time, we can steal the time from our material activities, and we can give the more time to the Krishna. So Hare Krishna everyone, happy Krishna conscious day. Please engage yourself and keep the small books with you, na? Like it will hardly 50 to 60 pages, and it will be weight like less than 50 grams, na? Keep one copy within your purse or within your bag, and when you get the 5-10 minutes time during the traveling, you can simply open and read the 1 or 2 paragraphs. And they are so transcendental because they are not just literature, but they are the realizations of a Prabhupada, and they are full of nectar. Even we hear in Srimad Bhagavatam, in first chapter only, it is said that this Srimad Bhagavatam is a mature fruit of a tree, a desire tree of a Vedas. And when a Shukar Goswami, when the words coming through the Shukar Goswami, they become more nectarian. So yes, this literature is very nectarian, but when it is written by the Srila Prabhupada, by including his realization, it has become more and more sweet. So yes, we should relish it. So Hare Krishna, happy Krishna conscious day.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare
Thank
Thank
Krishna,
you to
Mataji.
all.
Hare Krishna.
All glories
Hare
to
Krishna.
glories to assembled devotees. Thank you all. Hare Krishna.
Hare
Krishna Mataji.
Krishna. Dhanyavad
Hare
Mataji.
Krishna. Dhanyavad Prabhu.